today, Saturday, February 15th, 2025. Welcome back to You and I Talk Show. My people, today I will be speaking to you off camera, talking about the whole continent of Africa. If you have questions, please come and ask your questions. It's an open mic show. So come and ask your questions. Let me start by putting the link. I'm gonna put the link in the description if anybody wants to come and speak. And then on top of that, as you can see, even I'm not on camera today. So for all the people who had issues that they can't be on camera, well, I'm on camera either today. So come and not be on camera as well. I'll be taking questions, and then so as usual, we're gonna start in English, continue in French, and end in KinyaRwanda. So I'm in the new studio. As you can see, I'm testing out the new studio. So it's better I fail off camera. By the time I come back on camera, I will know how this new studio is working now. So do the QR code. Do the QR code and tell me if the QR code stuff is working on the side there. I'm training to when I'll be telling you about my new book, my upcoming new book. So I'm displaying my old book already. So that was my very first book, and then the other QR code is the display for the support for You and I Talk Show. Let me know if you're getting it, if it's working. I see Ayana Mahoro. Oh, I see you. I see Ayana Mahoro. Thank you so much for being here, my people. Notre sœur préférée, my people. Thank you for being here. So, what are we talking about today? We're talking about the whole continent of Africa, as I was saying. Oh, I see somebody in the studio already. This somebody in the studio. You want to talk? You want to say something? Let me know. Let me know. You want to talk? You want to say something? Okay, one moment. Let me put you on air. All right, my people, we have somebody on air right now. Thank you. You're on air.
Hi, how are you? This is my first time here, and I would like to thank you for the opportunity that I'm on air. I was just trying it out, and then I have a question for you. Um, what gives you the courage to be outspoken and to be able to speak to for the voiceless? That is my question because it takes a lot of courage with what's going on in Africa. It takes a lot of courage. What gives you that courage?
All right. Thank you very much. I will remove you from the show and then answer your question. Thank you very much. All right, my people. So, what gives someone the courage? What gives me the courage to speak out? It is pretty much my philosophy, which I am sharing in my upcoming book, in my new book. It's about knowing who you are and knowing your own power. So, as our ancestors used to say, know thyself. So I talk about knowing myself and knowing my real power, and this is something that I will share with the rest of the world. What I have discovered about myself can also help people, because the same law that applies to me, the same law that I have discovered, the same laws that applies to everyone. So knowing the law, knowing myself, and knowing Imana, the supreme being, is what is pretty much giving me, as the common people would say, the balls to speak. A lot of people, Rwandan people, are so scared, and most people are even scared for me. They're like, oh my God, Louise, they're going to kill you. And then I'm like, yeah. Well, and then what's that gonna accomplish? If they kill me, they're gonna make me stronger, because if I am this strong in the body of a tiny little woman, how strong am I going to be as an infinite spirit, which is now not limited to being imprisoned in a body of a tiny little woman? Not so tiny today, because I'm getting a little bit fat. Could be why I'm not on camera. But anyways, you understand what I'm saying? So this is where I get the courage to be laughing at the criminal dictatorship as they try to oppress people, and as they try to control everyone, and as they try to act as if they will get away with their crimes against humanity, but they cannot get away with their crimes against humanity, because there is a law that is above them. And even though humans may trash the law that human law, and they cannot trust divine law. So knowing divine law and knowing my identity is what gives me the courage and the balls, and also what makes me, instead of being this is actually, I was going to talk about this today, these people who are tribalists, who are only concerned about their own tribes, and who are willing to go to war because of tribalism, because of their one tribe, instead of seeing the entire continent. I love this image, because it shows the whole continent without borders and just Africans. So people who are seeing only their little tribe, as the Kagamistan in Rwanda does, by seeing only himself and only his only little tribe, and he's willing to go to war in Congo to destroy our fellow Africans, and working for the destroyers and the colonizers of Africa. This is like a whole other level of ignorance, masquerading as strength, posturing and talking about conquering people with the military. This colonizing mentality that even the colonizers try to use on Africa. But for as long as Africans had their spirituality and knew who they were strong and they were resistant. And this is how and why Africa has survived this far, because of the strength of the African spirit. And this is what Africa has to come back to. And this strength, this spirit, is not based on any existing religion. It's not based on Islam, Christianity, Judaism. This is based on ancient African knowledge. So this is why I can't wait to share my upcoming book, which I'm so happy to tell you. Like I told you, the QR code, I'm practicing advertising my books, because I never used to advertise my books. But the new book, I'm going to have to talk about it all the time, because it's so useful for so many people to exactly develop self knowledge. And as you know, knowledge is power. So self knowledge will give you self power, And then, yeah, you'll be out there ballsy going after whatever it is that you have to go to, because you will have the knowledge which gives you the power, which gives you the self-confidence to do whatever it is that you came out here to do. The other knowledge of ancient Africa is that, we are out here on a mission. We are out here on a mission, and everybody's out here on a mission. And this knowledge will help everyone find out their mission and go for it, because you may even be here and you are wasting your time, or you don't know what your mission is. So that's what's happening. So let's get into these people who are tribalist and who are just fighting for their own selves, and then they don't even realize how much damage that they are doing. I'm going to share my screen, and even though Facebook has blocked me, again. Crazy. So I'm on my backup. I'm on my backup on the backup Facebook account. So it's just to show you some of the stuff that I had been posting. Just to show you what we are talking about, and people who have tribalized their cause instead of looking at the entire continent. And right now, the man on the screen is the man who all the so many Africans were talking about. We're gonna go on X as well. We're doing a review and review of the social media, right? So this guy, as you know him, the Kenyan guy, Raila Odinga, huh? So used to losing, right? All his life he's been losing, and so many Kenyan people were against him. Actually, it was the Kenyan people who campaigned against him so he may lose when he was running for Africa, the African seat, which was won by the Djibouti representative, who is a serious diplomat. Unlike this guy who was boycotted by his own nation. And why was he boycotted by his own nation? Because he's been serving his own interest for so many years. And the latest betrayal of the young people in Kenya is when he decided, instead of supporting the Gen Z, which was standing up for their own rights, which is within their rights because they are the sovereign. And if the employee, the politician, the president is not serving them, they have the right to rise up and ask the employee to go. So instead of the employee accepting that the people have said no, what does the employee do? The employee refuses to go, and on top of that, starts abusing his employers, killing the youth people who are revolting, the Gen Z, who everybody, the entire continent loves the balls of the Gen Z, because they know their constitution. Once again, they're empowered by knowledge. They know their constitution, and their constitution says that we, the people are the sovereign. I say we the people because I'm with the people, and of course you know that sometimes I be identifying as Kenyan as well, right? So Kenyan people who know their constitution, they know they're the sovereign. They know if the employee, the president, and all the politicians are not serving them, that they have the right to fire them, to protest. The politicians reacted by killing them, and this man had an opportunity to support the young generation as the opposition. But what does he do? He betrays the Gen Z and goes for his own personal purpose. So just so he could get the seat, he betrays the Gen Z, and he goes on and campaigns for the African seat, and now he just lost it, right? So this is what people are talking about, and which brings to these other tribalists of the Kagamistan. And people have been talking about Raila Odinga, that he will be cursed because he went and was looking for support from a president who has been fired pretty much by his own employers, the people, the sovereign, who have been campaigning hashtag. So he goes and supports the oppressor instead of the people. And then he goes and he works with Museveni, who is also highly protested. As you know, the Ruto government allowed for Kiza Besigye to be kidnapped from Kenya to Uganda, and now he's like almost dying because he's unjustly imprisoned in Uganda. This man ignored all that and went into some pact with the president of Kenya. And this is why he lost the confidence and the vote of his own people, who began to campaign against him. And now he has lost the African seat, which went to Djibouti, you know. So which actually shows that Africans will are ready for meritocracy. This is meritocracy. This is Kenyan saying that he's not even qualified. He shouldn't even have that space, because all the time that he's been an MP, that he's been in politics in Kenya, what has he accomplished for his own people? And now he betrays Gen Z. Unacceptable. So they are like, we have a better chance if we elect somebody else. We have a better chance. Also, maybe a younger person, because this person, 80 years old, he's been in politics all his life. But who has he enriched? Who has he brought prosperity to? He has brought prosperity to himself. And he's still campaigning for himself against Gen Z. So he was rejected, you know? So this is a great sign that Africans were, especially Kenyans, were not interested in supporting their own and being tribalist. They were interested in the greater interest of Africa, and they actually went against their own candidate because he's supported by their president, who is not serving their interest. So this shows a very high level of political maturity, which I salute from the Kenyans. You know, this is why I be identifying as Kenyan. Unlike, all right, let's get back to us in Rwanda and Congo. Oh my goodness. Unlike in Rwanda and Congo, unlike in the Kagamistan particularly, uh, the Kagamistan, which is completely a tribalist regime, which has been denounced by its own people. And despite Rwanda being a country where, if you go by those, without going into depth, and you go by those official tribes, Hutu, Tutsi, Twa, they only have 3 tribes. But Rwanda has been known to be a country which is fighting tribalism. And the Kagamistan in Rwanda, despite the fact that he claims and pretends to be a Pan-Africanist, but he's a tribalist who has his entire army, his entire government, all the key main role given to his own tribe. And then he goes into Congo to fight a war for his tribe, not fighting for African interests, actually ready to serve the colonizers and the destroyers who are destroying Africa, just to serve his own tribe. And even within his own tribe, the they only a tiny minority of them is actually benefiting from what the Kagamistan is doing in Rwanda, because it only benefits him and his tiny little family. So another tribalist is this man Thank you to the person who posted it, Robert Patrick Fatiga Quere. This is another man only because of their tribes. The guy Willie Manzi, who is actually known in Canada, was known in Canada and has been nominated by the Kagamistan in Rwanda to go and represent M23 in Congo. But he's actually known as a Rwandan, and this is another image of him in Canada, where he lived in Canada, where he was known as a Rwandan, where he allegedly came to Canada as a Rwandan, but now he has been nominated to go and rule over Congo by the Kagamistan, allegedly. So, allegedly, these people who are tribalists, who hate their own fellow Africans, but then they still have little issues because they are willing to work with white people, serve white people against their fellow Africans that they see as inferior. So they have an inferiority complex towards white people, but at the same time they have a superiority complex towards the rest of Africans and the rest of the people in Congo. And this is why they kill the Congo people in such a barbaric way, because they don't even see them as humans. They see them as Hutus and inferiors and what they are calling Bantus, and then they see themselves as Tutsi and superior, and they give themselves that right. So I'm calling out these tribalists of Rwanda and sometimes who identify as Congolese, but just so they can be at war, destroying the Congolese. And so one of the latest, as this man has posted, is RDF, Rwanda Defense Force, appointed Manzi Ngarambe Wili as vice governor of North Kivu. He's appointed by the Kagamistan in Rwanda because this is who is behind everything. On February 5th, 2025, Rwanda Defense Force appointed Manzi Ngarambe Wili, a Rwandan national and a cousin to ICC convicted war criminal Bosco Ntaganda, alias Terminator, as vice governor of North Kivu in charge of administration. Their fathers are brothers. Prior to this appointment, he served as RDF M23 diaspora chief coordinator. During his ICC trial, Bosco Ntaganda repeatedly stated that he is not Congolese but Rwandan, born in 1973 in Kinigi, Rwanda. Now, his notorious cousin, Manzi Ngarambe Wili, has been resurrected by the RDF and placed in key leadership role in North Kivu, raising serious concerns about Rwanda's continued influence in the region. Notorious assassin Manzi Ngarambe Wili, along with his wife and children, had been living in Gatineau, Quebec, Canada, a country known for democracy and human rights. However, he abandoned the safety and stability of Canada to wage terror, butcher innocent Congolese, and contribute to unprecedented social and economic atrocities in Eastern DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. Two critical questions. What compels a man to abandon the comfort of a democratic nation, leaving his family behind, only to spread terrorism and carnage among his fellow human beings, especially in a country with no ties to his nationality, citizenship, or heritage? Did RDF, Rwandan Defense Force M23, fail to find a true Congolese Tutsi or any other Congolese for the role of vice governor, or did they deliberately choose their ruthless Rwandan enforcer for the position? This further underscores Rwanda's deep-rooted interference in the Democratic Republic of Congo internal affairs, exposing the manipulation and control exerted by Kigali's regime over North Kivu's leadership. And this was written by RPF Gakwerere, a military corporal for more than 3 decades. My people. So, this is what we talk about. People who are only interested in their own in their own little tribe, who are not serving Rwanda. That's why we call them the Kagamistan, who are not even serving really the Tutsi at large, who are really serving themselves, but hiding behind the Tutsi tribe, behind the Tutsi victimization story. This is what is happening. Again, another more positive example would be the example of Mali, would be the example of real Pan-Africanism, like Dr. Nyamsi wa Cameroon wa Africa, who is currently in Mali to launch his new book, who is a serious true Pan-African, and the country of Mali, who have been fighting l'imperial terrorism. This is the new book by the professor Nyamsi, which for sure I will be buying on Amazon and trying to get Nyamsi if he's interested in an interview. This is people who are working for the entire continent of Africa, unlike the criminal dictatorship of the Kagamistan in Rwanda. These are people who are working for the entire continent, and what they have been accomplishing has been beneficial for the entire continent, my people. So this is what we are denouncing today. Some of these tribalists among us, among Rwanda and Congolese, who are just serving their own interest. And then I saw some people in Congo also denouncing that some people in Congo are also tribalist. And I can tell you that they can never be as tribalist as the tribalist of the Kagamistan in Rwanda, because they're the ones who actually went to war to defend the interest of their tribe. And they're the ones who only be talking about their own tribe. And even Muhozi and Museveni in Uganda talking about only their own tribe. People saw what they had been posting, and then of course they find people to use, they find their own propagandists to use. The latest one, who is doing the job of cleaning up the image of the terrorists in Congo and the criminal dictatorship of the Kagamistan in Rwanda, is surprisingly this guy Rutendo, the Rutondo guy, who had actually been, we thought that he was an activist because he used to speak about Zimbabwe being under sanctions, and he was fighting against the sanctions against Zimbabwe. So we thought that maybe he was an activist, but it turns out that allegedly he has been corrupted and bought by the Kagamistan, and he's now even interviewing the terrorists in Congo, lying that this is an unexpected opportunity. And I'm responding to him, telling him that there is absolutely nothing unexpected, that this was well planned, and that he went there knowing, and that he's now allegedly a paid propagandist of the criminals of the Kagamistan in Rwanda, because allegedly that he works with his own government in Zimbabwe, and his own government in Zimbabwe is playing a double game, one side pretending to support Congo, and on the other side also supporting the Kagamistan criminal dictatorship in Rwanda, which is invading and plundering, killing in Congo. As you remember, Zimbabwe sent some teachers to Rwanda, to the Kagamistan in Rwanda, but this is a trap from the Kagamistan in Rwanda, just so they can get Zimbabwe support, because they have on purpose destroyed education, destroyed teachers in Rwanda, only to turn around and import teachers from Zimbabwe. Come on, guys. So this guy is the latest one to be bought by the criminal dictatorship of the Kagamistan, allegedly, and to start serving them and try to give good publicity to the terrorists in Congo. So you can see the comments on the post that I gave, and then you can visit him and tell him what you think about it. Salute everyone who's in the resistance against the criminal dictatorship of the Kagamistan Rwandans. So people saying how sad it is, because salute to Nyamuhoe Masawa Katabana, who is a Congolese activist as well. It's sad, and so we are asking questions. He has become some sort of intellectual mercenary or intellectual prostitute, people who are willing to sell their brains, to sell their voice, to sell their microphone. I have a mic, I have a voice. So imagine you sell your voice, you sell your mic to a criminal dictatorship which is killing and plundering because they can pay a lot of money. So this is why you become like an intellectual mercenary or an intellectual prostitute, because you don't have a cause. You're not serving the interest of the people. You're not serving the higher truth, ma'at, justice. You are serving the interest of one criminal dictatorship. So Masahawa was saying how it's sad, and I was saying how it's even dangerous, because if someone can sell themselves to the criminal dictatorship of the Kagamistan in Rwanda, what can they not do? What can they not do? This is really going low. I salute Michel Mushimimana, who is from Burundi. I salute the Burundi people who are in the resistance, and everyone who is not going to be like these intellectual mercenaries and intellectual prostitutes, and also these lost Congolese people who will betray their own people, their own country, to serve the interest of the criminal dictatorship of the Kagamistan in Rwanda. So thank you to the people who voted and defeated the Kagamistan in Ethiopia. Ethiopia! I salute Reverend Christine Coleman. She's into MAGA Africa. She's a fan of Trump. She has actually met Trump. She is a Republican, an African American woman from Rwanda. And she posted, she's like, Kagame's Rwanda defeat has begun. The Kagamistan, the criminal dictatorship of the Kagamistan in Rwanda, the defeat has begun. Rwanda was defeated in a bid to secure a seat on the African Union Peace and Security Council. Can you imagine the mockery? The mockery. Rwanda is disturbing peace, killing peace, disturbing security, killing security. Millions. People have died. They have killed millions and millions of people in Congo, plundering and killing. This is what the Kagamistan in Rwanda does. And yet he mocks peace, and he wants to have a seat on the African Union Peace and Security Council. Man. So Rwanda was the only one to vote for Rwanda. This is so funny because, as you know, the Kagamistan in Rwanda wins elections by 99%. He's used to forcing and forging and faking election result, winning by 99%. The moment of truth has come. Rwanda goes on the African level where he cannot win by 99%. And guess what? He gets his real result that he would get in Rwanda if we had real elections. He would win 1%. So even right here in the African Union, one vote. Only the Kagamistan voted for the Kagamistan, yo. So the Kagamistan in Rwanda was the only one to vote for Rwanda. Seems like everyone knows what the Kagamistan in Rwanda is doing in Congo, except for the Kagamistan himself. The time of isolation and sanctions has begun. Congratulations to Ethiopia, who won the bid representing East Africa. Congratulations to Ethiopia. Ethiopia, well deserved, because Ethiopia has always represented the whole continent, and it tried as much as possible to maintain its peace and security, tried to resist the colonizers and the colonization. So, congratulations to Ethiopia for winning instead of the scam of the Kagamistan in Rwanda, right? So let's go into the comments and see what you guys are saying in the comments uh, before I um, before I before I move on to the before I move on to the thing. So how is this? Let's see. Okay, so can you see your comments on the screen, or like how is it? Because I'm seeing them, but what? How come it's not on top of the thing? Okay, let's try that one. Why does it do that? Okay, my people, let me know if you can see the if you can see the and keep talking about this issue, and it will also take questions in French when we move into French, and then we'll also move into the KinyaRwanda. I'll also move into KinyaRwanda. One thing that I wanted to speak to people on the KinyaRwanda section was I don't know if you guys saw it, that the Kagamistan in Rwanda was talking about how if he's about to die, and people ask him how he wants to die, giving a story of a woman in the genocide who, when asked when they were about to die, how they wanted to die, and then he chose to spit in their face. I don't know if you guys have seen that story. I'm trying to find the video. If someone has a link to a video on it, or on Facebook, please show it to me. Show it to me right now, because I don't know where the video is on Facebook. So, anyways, they were talking about how he actually got that story from his own people that he had sent to infiltrate and to make the genocide worse. Uh, as you know, Judy River wrote a book about how the Kagamistan had actually infiltrated Rwandan military, infiltrated even the people who were killing the people who are seen as Tutsi, and so that he could just make things worse, so that he could take over among the chaos. So this is allegedly how he eventually got the story of this woman, you know, because this is the same guy when he's asked about, are you in Congo? Is the Rwandan army in Congo? He has the audacity to claim that, oops, I don't know. He doesn't know if his own army is in Congo, and yet he knows what happened to a very old woman who was so let me show you that video before we end, and then we're gonna move into French. We're gonna move into French right after that. So I think this is the video. Let me bring it in. Okay, my people, can you see it on the screen? Yeah, so crazy madness of the Kagamistan Rwanda
Another,
again.
without a second thought, I'll turn my guns to the existential threat, as if the other one doesn't exist. We are not dealing with a situation that is new to us. We have faced existential threats for years. We had the worst tragedy in '94. You really come to me and start threatening threats for defending myself?
So you see how he's using that same victimization tactic. He's the one who has invaded in Congo to plunder, to kill. He's the one who has committed genocide in Congo. The Congo has not attacked him and threatened him. And yet he is now portraying himself as a victim and bringing in the genocide story. And he forgets that people now have found out that during the genocide, he wrote to the UN to prevent the UN from intervening. He's the one who started the genocide. He assassinated two presidents, the president of Burundi and Rwanda, to spark the genocide. He infiltrated the militia who were killing the people, the Tutsi, and so that he could make the genocide worse, so that he could take over among the chaos. But until today, in 2025, he is in Congo. He denies that he's in Congo. And then when he's questioned, when he's challenged, when the people resist him, when he's called out and exposed, when people are about to sanction him, he comes back and he pretends to be the one who is the victim. My people, what is this? What is this? This is perversion of the highest order. He's now trying to portray himself as the victim, but he's the one who have created so many victims. Millions and millions of people in Congo have been killed by his army, the Kagamistan criminal dictatorship in Rwanda. But he's about to bring in the genocide and pretend like he is the victim. Let's listen.
Threatening sanctions because I'm defending myself, and you think I have any iota of fear for that?
He's actually very, very scared. He's always scared. Why he gotta go all the way to Congo? And he's always inventing new enemies because he's scared of everyone. He has betrayed everyone, and so many, he has created so many enemies for himself. So he is actually so scared. But look at him out here talking about, you think I'm scared? You think I'm scared? He wants to go to war with everyone. He wants to commit suicide and in this war, and he wants this war, since it may kill him, to kill the maximum amount of people. Don't fall into his traps. Don't fall into his manipulations and his fake victimization victim card, when he is the oppressor, the oppression. He is the killer, the plunderer in Rwanda and Congo and beyond. Mozambique, Benin, you know all about this. The main issue that Africa has is to have this kind of leaders who are ready to betray their own people, betray Congo, serve the interest of the colonizers, all while still pretending to be the victim. Just this is the main issue right here. Let's listen.
You know, I gave an example during our last 30th commemoration in my speech.
So that's the story that I was telling you of an old woman. So he now identifies as an old woman, eh? He is the oppressor, the killer in Congo, but he's about to identify himself with this old woman facing death. So
I told the people how an old woman, during the genocide, before they killed her, the killers asked her to choose how she was going to be killed. And the answer to them was to spit in their face. That's what this old woman did. So you can imagine how much I'm going to spit in the face of anyone who tells me to choose between which death I should face.
So he's actually in this war in Congo, he's actually spitting in the face of everyone because he knows he's going down, because he knows that the Congolese may have been resisting much more than he ever expected, because he knows he's exposed. So what does he do? He escalates the conflict. This is his way of spitting in the face of everyone, escalates the conflict. But at the same time, this story of this woman, as I was saying before, allegedly we have found out. How did he find out this story of this woman? Because this is the same Mr. I don't know. Huh? He doesn't know if his troops are in Congo killing and plundering, but he knows this story of this woman during the genocide because allegedly, my people, as you know, as Judo River had exposed and people have testified, he had infiltrated the killers, sent in his own RPF soldiers to help participate in the genocide against the Tutsi. So they know what happened. They participated in the killing. So they went and told him about this particular woman story that they went to kill, and this is what happened. This is apparently, allegedly, how he knows this story. Can you imagine the level of cynicism? Like, not only this woman that he's portraying as a victim was killed by his own people that he sent to infiltrate the killers, but also he's now portraying himself as a victim, trying to be this old woman, but also he is the oppressor and the killer in Congo. The layers. But also, he's the guy who had assassinated two African presidents to provoke a genocide. But also, he's the guy who wrote to the UN to ask them not to intervene in Rwanda just so he can take power by force. The layers and layers, my people. Mm, mm, mm. So, thank you to everyone who is not fooled and who is boycotting and who is resisting the madness of the criminal dictatorship of the Kagamistan in Rwanda. You see, he was giving interview to Jeune Afrique. We all know about the Jeune Afrique situation. All right, my people. So let's move into French and keep talking about it before we move into KinyaRwanda. Thank you. All right, my people, continuons le show. Donc aujourd'hui, nous sommes samedi le 15 février. Et donc j'étais en train de parler de la tribalisation du conflit, le conflit entre le Rwanda, le Kagamistan, parce que c'est vraiment le Kagamistan du Rwanda qui est en conflit avec le Congo pour servir les prédateurs, et ensuite bien sûr tribaliste qu'il est, faux panafricain qu'il est, pour servir aussi les intérêts de son petit groupe ethnique, comme il aime le dire, le dire lui-même. Et donc nous étions en train d'exposer justement ce que les Rwandais ont posté pour parler de cette tribalisation du Rwanda, euh, tribalisation du conflit, puisque le Kagamistan aime dire qu'il est au Congo pour défendre les soi-disant les Tutsis, alors que le Congo est habité par plusieurs familles. Je ne sais même pas il y a combien de tribus, de dites tribus ou dites ethnies au Congo. Ça, c'est en réaction par rapport aux Congolais qui disent que ils sont tribalisés aussi chez eux, ou qu'il y a des tribalisations quelconques du côté congolais. C'est pour dire aux Congolais que la tribalisation, là, c'est surtout du côté du Kagamistan, qui a toute son armée, tout son gouvernement complètement tribalisé dans toutes les positions, l'armée, le gouvernement, tout. Il a mis ça dans les mains de son petit groupe. Et si vous parlez, c'est vous qu'il traite de tribaliste. Donc, c'est comme ça que c'est au Kagamistan. Et puis, la tribalisation aussi du conflit au Congo, ça a commencé aussi avec Kabila. Kabila qui, quand il avait pris le pouvoir, justement en étant aidé par le Kagamistan, vous vous souvenez de Kabarebe qui est allé jusqu'à Kinshasa pour prendre le pouvoir? Eh ben, quand Kabila père s'est réveillé et qu'il a vu que les Rwandais étaient tribalistes, des suprémacistes qui se disent des Tutsis et qui voient le reste des Africains comme des Hutus, comme des sous-hommes, ben, Kabila a voulu se libérer. Alors, ils l'ont tué, ils ont mis le fils aussi qui est tribalisé, et c'est à partir du fils qu'il a commencé à tribaliser l'armée congolaise et à la détruire de l'intérieur, et à faire en sorte que le Kagamistan et le Rwanda infiltrent l'armée congolaise et détruisent l'armée congolaise de l'intérieur. Et Kabila a été au pouvoir pendant plus de 15 ans. Donc, si quelqu'un a passé plus de 15 ans à détruire une armée, et sachant pertinemment que la construction est toujours plus compliquée que toujours plus compliqué que la destruction, vous pensez que ça va prendre combien de temps, combien d'années pour reconstruire l'armée congolaise? Donc, dans très peu de temps, même comment ils ont pu résister face au Kagamistan, même ça, c'est vraiment magnifique. Et justement, parlant des tribalistes, ces tribalistes rwandais qui ne se préoccupent que de leur propre groupe ethnique, comme par exemple lui qui est parti du Canada, hein, on était en train de dénoncer ça et d'avertir les Congolais de faire campagne pour l'unité, de vous dire attention, attention, les Africains pensent qu'ils sont plusieurs tribus et plusieurs ethnies. Or, les envahisseurs, les esclavagistes voient tous les Africains comme des Noirs, comme des nègres, tout simplement. Et je vous avertis que c'est la même chose au Congo face au Kagamistan. Les Congolais pensent qu'ils sont plusieurs tribus. Ils parlent même de la tribalisation de leur propre armée ou de leur leadership. Or, le Kagamistan au Rwanda les voit tous comme des Hutus et Kagame est prêt à les génocider tous parce qu'il les voit comme des Hutus ou comme des Bantous. Peu importe leur tribu, ils seront tous tués et remplacés par des Rwandais dites Tutsis et leurs alliés et leurs serviteurs locaux et autres, car pour le Kagamistan et ses sponsors, les Congolais sont tous des Hutus, ils sont tous vus comme des sous-hommes, et pour lui qui se dit Tutsi et qui en veut à tous les Hutus, pour lui qui est complexé par rapport aux dites blancs, mais qui déteste les autres Africains, qu'il voit comme des Hutus ou comme des Bantous, pour lui qui pactise avec le dit blanc contre ses propres frères noirs du Congo. Donc, s'il vous plaît, la famille Congo, réveillez-vous, résistance totale face au Kagamistan du Rwanda, boycott Rwanda partout où vous pouvez, boycott Visit Rwanda, boycott Made in Rwanda, boycott Air Rwanda, tout ce que vous pouvez, car peu importe vos tribus, peu importe vos divisions internes, vous êtes tous visés, vous risquez tous un génocide total contre les Congolais tout court. Et si le Congo et le reste de l'Afrique ne résistent pas à cette barbarie du Kagamistan, tous les Congolais vont devenir des esclaves. C'est l'Afrique qui va derrière. Ce n'est pas de l'avancement. Donc, j'appelle à tous les panafricains, tous les vrais panafricains à support le Congo. Et moi qui vous parle, Ausares, Louise Uwacu, aujourd'hui, 15 février 2025. Je suis comme cet homme, j'habite au Canada et je suis aussi d'origine rwandaise. Je suis rwandaise de père et de mère, mais je suis avec le Congo, avec le peuple congolais, avec toute l'Afrique contre la barbarie du Kagamistan. Donc voici le fameux Manziwili qui a quitté le Canada pour aller servir les terroristes du Kagamistan et du M23 au Congo. Il était au Canada en train de se dire rwandais, mais le voilà tout d'un coup, il est devenu congolais et il est allé au Congo opprimer les Congolais, tuer les Congolais. Et alors, sa photo, il paraît que lui, donc, il n'a pas de problème, comme je vous disais, les tribalistes, les complexés du Kagamistan, les viols, les tueries des femmes congolaises, ça le dérange pas. Mais par contre, il peut aller faire des enfants avec les femmes d'ailleurs, et ensuite rentrer, quitter le Canada pour aller gouverner au Congo, alors qu'au Canada, il n'était qu'un Rwandais kagamisé, un mentalement colonisé et spirituellement pauvre, qui a été exposé, là, je venais juste de lire une lettre de Patrick Fatigakwelele qui parlait justement de lui et du comment il est le cousin de l'autre là qui a déjà été envoyé à la CPI pour les crimes. Ah oui, voilà le poste. Je vous le montre. Donc lui qui a quitté le Canada pour aller faire partie des terroristes du Kagamistan au Congo. Et le voilà sur le terrain. Hein? Le voilà dans le stade où ils ont forcé la population à aller et où ils disaient que si vous n'allez pas, de toute façon, ils vont vous tuer. Si vous ne le supportez pas, ils vont vous tuer. Donc, ils ont été nommés par le Kagamistan. Et donc, ce poste, c'était pour dire qu'il est le cousin. Il est le cousin de l'autre terroriste là qui avait été envoyé à la Cour pénale internationale et qui a clairement dit, c'est Ntaganda, qui a clairement dit qu'il n'était pas congolais, qu'il était rwandais. Donc, le voilà son cousin, lui aussi rwandais, qui vivait au Canada comme rwandais, mais qui s'improvise congolais, qui sert le Kagamistan et qui donc rentre au Congo pour devenir soi-disant vice-gouverneur. Et alors, dans ce poste de Patrick Fatigakwere Page, qui lui aussi a été un militaire du Kagamistan, mais qui a quitté, qui a rejoint la résistance. Donc, c'est lui qui parle, c'est lui qui les connaît, c'est lui qui parle que Bosco Ntaganda, c'est son cousin. Et qui dit que il avait répété justement au ICC, à la Cour internationale, qu'il était rwandais, Donc, le cousin habitait apparemment au Canada, à Gatineau, Québec, Canada, un pays connu pour la démocratie et tout ça, les droits de l'homme. Mais le voilà, il quitte le pays de la démocratie, droits de l'homme, tout ça là, le Canada. En tout cas, c'est bien mieux que le Kagamistan, même si le Canada, là, depuis les libéraux au pouvoir, là, c'est autre chose. Mais en tout cas, c'est toujours mieux que le Kagamistan, quoi. Mais il quitte ça pour aller servir le Kagamistan au Congo, pour aller participer dans la tuerie et dans la colonisation du Congo. Et donc, c'est le cousin de celui-là, d'après ce que le monsieur dit, qui a déjà été à la Cour pénale pour crime au Congo, justement, et qui avait nié tout ça au nom d'un groupe ethnique, s'il vous plaît, ce qui est contraire, totalement contraire au panafricanisme, au vrai panafricain que justement j'étais en train de saluer, vrai panafricain de la part des gens du Mali, du Burkina, du Niger, qui sont en train de montrer l'exemple à toute l'Afrique, le vrai panafricanisme de la part du professeur Nyamsi, qui est allé là-bas armé de connaissances, s'il vous plaît, comme notre papa Diop a dit. Oh my goodness, j'ai la jalousie positive. En KinyaRwanda, il y a aussi le concept de la jalousie positive. Quand vous voyez quelqu'un faire quelque chose du bien et que vous voulez faire du bien aussi. Donc, quand je vois le professeur Nyamsi qui est descendu au Mali, là, armé de connaissances, c'est-à-dire avec un livre dans ses mains, je me dis, yo, voilà l'avenir, contrairement à ces tribalistes du Kagamistan, les gens qui travaillent, hein, armez-vous de connaissances jusqu'aux dents et ensuite allez arracher votre patrimoine. Non, mais j'adore. Ça, ce sont les bonnes initiatives qu'on est là pour support, comme You and I Talk Show est là aussi pour donc l'éducation, contrairement à ces tribalistes du Kagamistan qui sont au Congo pour détruire et qui sont au Rwanda en pratiquant la ségrégation, l'apartheid, le racisme, le Tutsi supremacism, et qui sont prêts à pactiser avec les colons, les destructeurs, pour détruire les Africains et puis servir les intérêts des destructeurs. Et tout ça là pour servir petits groupes ethniques. Donc c'est vraiment incroyable et c'est inacceptable. Alors, disons non, disons non à la famille, et puis participons à la résistance. Alors, partir avant d'aller en, avant d'aller en KinyaRwanda, je vais voir si dans les va pas se terminer très bien pour lui parce que vous ne pouvez pas faire tellement, tellement de mal à tant de monde et s'attendre à ce que ça n'ait pas de conséquences. C'est aussi ça la loi divine. Regardez toute la carte de l'Afrique. Le Rwanda, là, complètement invisible même, si on ne mettait pas les petites frontières. D'ailleurs, le Rwanda, là, quand on étudie l'histoire du Rwanda original, c'est comme si le Rwanda est une terre qui originellement, justement, même dans les mythologies du commencement du Rwanda, une terre qui était inoccupée, et puis les gens sont venus y habiter. Et puis, à l'original, ce sont bien évidemment les Batois, les originaux hein, de toute l'Afrique, qui habitaient le Rwanda, comme qui habitaient le Congo. Donc, c'est comme si, en fait, originalement, même le Rwanda est congolais même. Quand le Kagamistan veut envahir le Congo et prendre le Rwanda, ça aurait dû être l'inverse. Hein? Et puis, donc, certains autres Rwandais sont venus de l'Ouganda pour aussi habiter le Rwanda. Donc, c'est comme si le Rwanda était une fusion entre les gens, les Batois, mais aussi les Bakongo qui étaient déjà là et les Ougandais et les gens de l'Ouganda, hein, qui ont fini aussi par créer le Burundi. Parce que de toute façon, notre région, la région des Grands Lacs, le Congo, c'est la terre sacrée, c'est Taneter, c'est la terre des dieux, comme les anciens les Égyptiens, les Kamites l'avaient eux-mêmes testify. Donc, c'est vraiment, vraiment de l'ignorance totale que le Kagamistan est venu mettre sur la tête du Rwanda et sur la tête de tous les Africains. Et c'est un test pour toute l'Afrique, c'est un test pour le Congo, c'est un test aussi pour les Rwandais, pour voir comment est-ce que nous allons survivre ça, comment est-ce que nous allons résister ça et comment est-ce que nous allons nous en sortir. Donc, on a vu les gens qui sont tombés dans le piège, mais on voit aussi les gens qui résistent. Et parmi les gens qui sont tombés dans le piège, tout à l'heure, on était en train de parler justement, à part les tribalistes du Kagamistan qui sont donc tombés dans le piège, il y a aussi l'autre là, le mec du Zimbabwe là, le mec du Zimbabwe qui normalement, d'habitude, on pensait qu'il était un activiste, hein, lui là, hein? On pensait qu'il était un activiste. Le gars s'appelle Rutendo Benson Matinyarare. On pensait qu'il était un activiste parce que récemment, là, il était en campagne contre les sanctions du Zimbabwe. Ça avait un sens. Et on était tous contre les sanctions du Zimbabwe parce que qu'est-ce que le Zimbabwe a fait pour mériter les sanctions alors que la même communauté dite internationale qui a sanctionné le Zimbabwe n'a pas sanctionné le Rwanda qui a envahi le Congo, qui a tué des millions et qui a volé des milliards. Donc le Rwanda n'est pas sanctionné, mais le Zimbabwe va être sanctionné. Donc, c'est sûr qu'on était contre les sanctions contre le Zimbabwe. Donc, le monsieur était on the forefront pour les sanctions contre le Zimbabwe. On l'avait support. Mais maintenant, là, le monsieur, il paraît, allegedly, allégation, qu'il a été acheté par le Kagamistan parce que c'est quand même un monsieur qui est éloquent, qui sait parler et tout, et qui sait faire les histoires de médias. Et donc là, il paraît, allegedly, qu'il a été acheté par le Kagamistan parce que le Kagamistan aussi, le Zimbabwe est en train de jouer un genre de double jeu. Tantôt, ils sont avec le Congo, tantôt, ils sont avec le Kagamistan. Ils ont envoyé soi-disant des profs au Rwanda. Et donc, le monsieur, allegedly, a été acheté par le Kagamistan. Et là, il est en train de faire un documentaire où, sans honte, il donne la parole aux terroristes, donc du Kagamistan, qui se disent du M23. Et tout ça, bien sûr, organisé et orchestré par le Kagamistan au Rwanda. Et puis, il est en train de mentir que, c'est une surprise, c'est par accident, ils ont reçu une invitation exclusive. C'est inattendu, opportunité inattendue. Après qu'ils ont entendu qu'ils avaient un documentaire dans la région. Mensonge, mensonge, mensonge. Je suis allée lui dire que c'est mensonge, qu'il n'y a rien d'inattendu parce qu'on a entendu allegedly, qu'il est allé là-bas, le sachant pertinemment. Il est en train de faire un documentaire pour laver l'image de ces terroristes. Et il est au service du Kagamistan, donc, qui est en train de faire un petit pacte avec lui et le Zimbabwe, donc pour trahir le Congo. Donc, il est là-bas donc pour essayer de les laver et de leur faire la bonne publicité. Donc, je suis en train de lui dire que la malédiction du Kagamistan, ah ouais, voilà, le Kagamistan, lui, peut être maudit. L'Afrique peut pas être maudite. Mais la malédiction du Kagamistan va le toucher. Donc, peu importe combien qu'ils vont le payer, là, j'étais en train de lui dire, peu importe combien qu'ils vont le payer, ça sera jamais assez. Parce que vraiment, trahir les Congolais, beaucoup de gens sont en train de lui dire qu'il a trahi le Congo. Non, mais c'est incroyable. Ah oui, voilà, easy to set up avec l'aide de Kigali. Bien sûr, avec l'aide de Kigali, bien sûr, vous pouvez aller interviewer les terroristes. C'est comme quand les médias rwandais vont interviewer les terroristes au Congo. C'est exactement aussi, il y a des médias au Rwanda qui vont au Congo pour interviewer ces terroristes. Donc, le Kagamistan au Rwanda s'est dit que bon, c'est encore plus nice s'ils amènent maintenant ce Zimbabwéen-là, qui était connu comme un activiste, mais ils vont l'utiliser pour faire leur propagande cette fois-ci. Si c'est lui qui fait la propagande, ils espèrent que peut-être c'est ça, que peut-être ça va être entendu, quoi, ça va être mieux reçu, quoi. Donc, mais on le dénonce déjà en avance et on vous le dit aussi, surveillez-le. Donc, on était en train de dire que c'est aussi ça, hein. Vous savez, comme dans la guerre, il y a des mercenaires, il y a des mercenaires. Et donc, en politique aussi, et sur le plan intellectuel aussi, il y a aussi des mercenaires. Donc, moi, j'étais en train de dire que donc, lui, là, c'est un mercenaire intellectuel, ou alors c'est la prostitution intellectuelle, hein. Il y a des gens qui défendent une cause, et qui défendent des valeurs, la Mahat, des valeurs, une cause qui est supérieure à nous-mêmes. On est prêt à se sacrifier pour une cause qui est supérieure à nous-mêmes, pour la vérité. Et puis, il y a des autres qui font le mercenariat et la prostitution intellectuelle, qui n'ont pas de cause, qui vont défendre la personne qui les paye, Donc, pour eux, il suffit d'être payé et ils vont faire le boulot. Ils vont mettre leur cerveau au service de n'importe qui, incluant le Kagamistan, une dictature criminelle, sanguinaire, génocidaire, des millions et des millions de morts au Congo. Donc, salutations aux Congolais qui sont dans la résistance, Nyamuhoe, Massawa, Katabana. Salutations aux Burundais qui sont dans la résistance, Michel, Mushimimana et tous les autres. Merci, merci, merci infiniment la famille. On va passer en KinyaRwanda et puis on va continuer à en parler. Merci, merci la famille. My people, murakoze, tugere mu KinyaRwanda, Mok Parunzora Kata. Merci, merci, merci. Vraiment, hein? Vraiment, hein? Vous êtes d'accord, hein? Prostitution intellectuelle, c'est bien dit. Ah, on est ensemble, on est ensemble. Merci, merci infiniment d'avoir été avec nous. À bientôt la famille Congo. On est ensemble. La matrie ou la vie éternelle. Nous sommes la victoire. Nous sommes la victoire. All right. Passons en KinyaRwanda. My people, tugere mu KinyaRwanda. Tuganire. Muzi si ikindi twavumbuye. Ariko ye. Ababeshyi hano ngo ni ba Uncle Kaga birirwa babeshya. Iriya story y'umukecuru. Iyi story y'umukecuru, ngo umukecuru ngo abonye bigeze ngo hanyuma ngo akavuga, ngo bakamubwira ngo urashaka gupfa gute, ngo hanyuma ngo akabacira mu maso. Muzi se ngo ukuntu yayimenye? Turaje tubisubiremo. Yabimenye ate ko bamubaza niba ingabo ze ziri muri Congo, akavuga ngo I don't know. ariko akajya kumenya story y'umukecuru muri jenoside abizi ate rero turaje tubiganireho tumuvumbure nawe. My people rero amahoro sinzi niba mumbona muri iyi studio nshyashya mumbwire ibyo mubona hanyuma munambwire niba ziriya QR code ziri ku ruhande zikora mumbwire niba zikora ndimo nditoza kujya na advertisinga igitabo cyanjye kuko igitabo cyanjye gishyashya kizaba ari danje. Show yatangiye hari umuntu uri kumbaza ati courage uzikura hehe, courage zo gukora ibyo ukora uzikura hehe. Nababwira rero ko nabibandikiye mu gitabo mbikura muri filozofi yanjye, akaba ari nacyo gitabo cyashya nza publicizinga nyine kirimo iyo filozofi yo kwimenya no kumenya Imana ariyo ituma umuntu agira courage yo guhangana na sekibi. Rero nzababwira ibyo namenye ku Mana no kuri shitani no ku mategeko agenga abantu, agenga Imana, agenga na shitani, kugira ngo nyine byose tubimenye. Ni gutyo umuntu atsinda. Kwa kundi abantu bajyaga bavuga ngo knowledge is power. Knowledge is power rero ngiye kubapartaja knowledge yanjye nyine, hanyuma iyo power nyine namwe ibagereho, izabageraho my people. Urumva se? Reka rero duhere kuri iyo video ya Uncle Kaga wa Kagamistan arimo avuga ngo umukecuru muri jenoside. Donc we ageze aho yiyidentifyinga nk'aho ari umukecuru. Umuntu niwe mugabo wagiye muri Congo agatera akamara abantu, hamaze gupfa amamiliyoni n'amamiliyoni, ariko ngo kirya abandi bajya kukirya kikishaririza. Bigeze aho Afurika yose imudenouncinga. Ahangaha ni abari barimo bapostinga bati attention ku bapanafurike b'uyu munsi, ngo ni abapanafurike ba wapisi. Imyaka 30 irashize Kongo iri mu ntambara, barangiza bagapostinga nanone ngo bienvenue ngo antere ngo Afrique Guinée. Abaguinée baracanganye bari barimo babadenonse. Urumva se? Rero agatangira imyaka yose kimaze kirya abandi, cyabajya kukirya nacyo kikishaririza cyane, noneho bamugeraho uyu munsi akaba ari kubeshya ngo azamera ngo nk'uwo mukecuru, ngo bagiye kwica ngo bamuhitishamo ngo akabacira mu maso. Inkuru rero twamenye ni iyi ngiyi. Daboro iyo nkuru y'uwo mukecuru wabaciriye mu maso yayimenya ate? My people, kwa kundi babwira ni we the people, we are the boss. Tugomba guhora dufite iyo mentalite yo kubaza ibibazo aba bakozi bacu bose ariyo bapolitisiye bose, kubabaza ibibazo. Nk'ubwo Uncle Kagaje atubwira ati ngo umukecuru muri jenoside ngo yari agiye kwicwa ngo noneho bamuhitishamo. Ugomba kubaza uwo mukozi wawe, umukozi wacu uti harya Uncle wowe, Uncle Kaga wowe, iyo nkuru daboro wayimenye ute? Wayimenye ute? Niko kubera ko wowe Uncle Kaga turagufite kuri video bakubaza bati ingabo z'u Rwanda ziri muri Congo, uti I don't know. Niko umuntu rero uba muri I don't know, umuntu uba muri I don't know muri mu by'abanyarwanda, umuntu uba muri I don't know mu by'abanyarwanda, ni gute ashobora kutubwira noneho uyu munsi ngo inkuru y'umukecuru muri genocide? Iyi nkuru y'umukecuru muri genocide yo yayimenya ate niba atanazi ko ingabo ze z'igisirikare ziri muri Congo? My people rero amakuru aturutse ahantu avuga ati allegedly ngo uko iyo nkuru yayimenye y'uwo mukecuru, yayimenye ngo kubera ko yayibwiwe na ba basirikare b'inkotanyi, nk'uko Rutaremara yabyivugiye ko bari baremfitiye ahashoboka hose bakagenda gufasha interahamwe kwica abitwaga Abatutsi. nk'uko bari baremfitiye ahantu hose, nk'uko uretse n'inkotanyi ubwazo zabyivugiye na Judy River yabyivugiye, yabyerekanye. Rero ni gutya Uncle Kaga muri bamwe mu bo yari yohereje kwemfiltra ntuza aho hantu nyine kwica abantu, nibo batashye bamubwira inkuru y'uyu mukecuru bagiye kwica, hanyuma bamuhitishijemo uko ari bupfe akabacira mu maso. Can you imagine my people? Donc abantu yari yarohereje kwemfiltra interahamwe, kuko se mubitekerejeho mwakumva izo allegations zimaking a sense. Ninde wundi wagiye kwicarana na Uncle Kaga w'umwicanyi wari ugiye kwica umuntu muri jenoside, hanyuma akabwira Uncle Kaga story z'umukecuru bari bagiye kwica? Allegedly ngo nabo bicanyi be yari yaratumye, hanyuma baragaruka. Urumva bamuhaga amaraporo. Imwe muri iyi raporo rero bamuhaye ni story y'umukecuru bari bagiye kwica, hanyuma bati uricwa gute, akabacira mu maso. My people, ibyo bintu murabyumva gute? Murabyumva gute? Murabivugaho iki? Reka rero nyibereke ino video aho yari arimo avuga n'agasuzuguro kenshi cyane, aho yatangiye kubeshya yigira
Potential threats and dealing with threats to punish Rwanda for one thing or another.
harimo arabeshya abantu bo muri Jeune Afrique, avuga ngo u Rwanda ngo rumerewe nabi, ngo rurugarijwe, ngo rushobora ngo kurwanywa ku buryo rutazanabaho, ngo none ngo barimo barashaka guhana ngo abanyarwanda, ngo barimo barashaka guhana u Rwanda, ari byo ngibi bita sanction na sanctions mu cyongereza. Ngo rero barimo barashaka guhana u Rwanda. Uncle Kaga wa Kagamistan rero arimo aritotomba ko kirya abandi bajya kukirya kikishaririza, ko yagezweho k'uyu munsi bagiye noneho nawe kumufatira ibihano. Urumva se? Arimo rero aritotomba ngo bagiye kumufatira ibihano, agiye gukora ya victimization ye ahoramo, kwigira nk'aho ari we victim kandi ari we wamaze abantu, ari we umaze imyaka muri Congo yica abantu, yaramaze abantu, ariko arashaka kwigira victim. Hejuru yo gutangira kwigira victim, agiye noneho kuvuga na story yo muri jenoside, aho ubwe yari yohereje abicanyi gufasha abandi bicanyi kumara abantu babita abatutsi. Ni mwimagine level y'ubushitani buri muri ibi bikorwa n'aya magambo ya Uncle Kaga. Noneho rero muri ibyo ari buvuge ngo bamuhitishijemo ngo abacira mu maso, ubu ngewe nkaba mvuga ko ubu ngubu n'ibintu ari gukora, ibi bintu byo kuzana intambara, gushoza intambara, kongera umuriro mu ntambara, ibi nabyo birasa nk'aho nawe ubwe nyine nk'uko ari bubyivugire, ageze hahandi nyine bamufashe, bamuhaniye, bagiye kumwica, ageze hanyuma hehe, noneho rero mu rwego rwo kwiyahura nawe akaba arimo acira mu maso, arimo aracira mu maso ya Congo, arimo aracira mu maso y'abanyarwanda, arimo aracira mu maso y'isi yose, kuko abona imperuka ye yageze, akavuga ati reka ngende ncira mu maso abantu. Ariko we nubwo bwose ashaka kwigira victim, we ntago ameze nk'uwo mugore wo muri jenoside. Uwo mugore wo muri jenoside we yari victime innocent. Uyu nguyu Uncle Kaga we ntago ari victime innocent barimo bahitishamo ngo urapfa gute. No, uyu nguyu we niwe oppressor, niwe esclavagiste, niwe mwicanyi, niwe umaze kwica amamiliyoni n'amamiliyoni, niwe washoje intambara, niwe wahaniye indege ya Habyarimana akica abaperezida babiri kugira ngo ashoze jenoside yifatire ubutegetsi, niwe wambutse akajya muri Congo akamara abantu amamiliyoni n'amamiliyoni. Uyu we si umuvictime, arimo arashaka kutwumvisha ko ameze nk'uwo mukecuru bari bagiye kwica akabacira mu maso. We ntago ari uwo mukecuru. Uwo mukecuru yari innocent victim. Kagame ntago ari innocent victim, ariko muri ya manipulation arimo arakora bya manipulation. Turagira ngo rero tube tunamubwiye en avance ko aya mayeri n'izi manipulation isi yose yamaze kuyimenya, twanayisobanurira n'abantu ya mayeri n'aya manipulation twabisobanuriye abantu, so ntacyo azabeshya isi. Reka twumve mbasemurire abatumva ibi byongereza n'ibifaransa ari kuvuga ye.
Without a second thought, I'll turn my guns to the existential threat.
Ngo ntago azajijita, ngo azafata intwaro ze n'imbunda ze azitunge abari mbega abari gushaka kumwica abatuma atazabaho, mbega ari kuvuga ko yugarijwe, ko ashobora kwicwa, mbega existence ye, kubaho kwe kurugarijwe, kubaho kurugarijwe. Rero ngo azafata intwaro ze ngo azitunge aho icyo abona umwugarije aho ava niho azatunga intwaro ze.
As if the other one doesn't exist. We are not dealing with a situation that is new to us.
Ati ntago turi bashyashya muri izi ntambara. No ku rucuncu twari duhari, ako kaga wibuke, ntago turi bashyashya muri izi ntambara. Uko ari kuvuga byo gucira abantu mu maso, nanabitekereje ndavuga ni no ku rucuncu bitwikiye mu nzu. Ubu rero ari gucira abantu mu maso kandi yadesize ati kama mbaya nzapfa, ariko reka mfe mbaciriye mu maso, mfe nisha abanyarwanda benshi bashoboka, nicishije abanyarwanda benshi bashoboka, nshoje intambara nyinshi zishoboka, mbacire mu maso mbandagaze, hanyuma mfe, kuko ni hahandi napfuye. Arashaka, ari muri mission suicide kugira ngo apfane na maximum ishoboka. Yabyiboneye ubwe, yabyiboneye, yatangiye gutanga amakomparezo y'amastori bamubwiye yo muri jenoside, aho ubwe yari yohereje abantu kwemfilitira abicanyi, gufasha abantu kwica inzirakarengane. Twumve.
We have faced existential threats for years.
Ati tumaze imyaka twugarijwe ubuzima bwacu, mbega hari abashaka ko tutabaho.
We had the worst tragedy in 94.
Ati bikomeye kuruta ibindi byabaye muri 94, ibibi cyane.
You really come to me and start threatening threats for defending myself, threatening sanctions.
Ati none uyu munsi nta n'isoni murimo muraza kumbwira ngo murimo ngo muzankiraho sanction, murimo murankangisha ngo muzankiraho sanction, murimo murankangisha sanction.
Because I'm defending myself.
Ati kubera ko ndi kwirwanaho. Urumva aha ni hahandi abeshya manipulation, victimization, ngo arimo arirwanaho kandi ari we washoje intambara, arimo arirwanaho ate.
And if you think I have any iota of fear for that?
Hanyuma kandi aha niho abeshya ngo nta bwoba afite, mbega bya bindi ngo ndandambara yantera ubwoba, kandi ari umunyabwoba, ari we munyabwoba wa mbere, ari nayo mpamvu ahora yica abantu, ari nayo mpamvu ahora akeka abantu bose bashoboka, kubera ko ari umunyabwoba. Ariko ahangaha yicaye imbere ya kamera ati ngewe nta bwoba mfite, nta bwoba mfite. Ni ukuvuga ngo ni umwiyahuzi, igihe cyo kwiyahura cyageze, arimo ariyahura, kandi ntabwo atinya kwiyahura no kwica abantu benshi no gushora abantu benshi muri uko kwiyahura, abantu benshi bashoboka. Ni nayo mpamvu mpora mvuga ni boycott, mwitandukanye nawe hakiri kare kugira ngo agende wenyine. Ntimwemere kujyana nawe muri gahunda mbi arimo, mu bushitani bwe arimo, ntimwemere kujyana nawe my people, kuko ibimuriho bimuriho we wenyine. Nimwemera kujyana nawe ubwo nyine karma ye namwe izabibagezeho, ariko se nimutemera kujyana nawe nyine mwebwe muzabaho, we akomeze iyo nzira ye.
You know, I gave an example during our last 30th commemoration in my speech. I told the people how an old woman during the genocide, before they killed her, the killers asked her to choose how she was going to be killed.
aha rero niho avuga ati mwibuke inkuru nababwiye muri commemoration y'umugore w'umukecuru mu gihe yari agiye kwicwa, hanyuma mbere yo kwicwa baramubaza bati urashaka kwicwa gute? Aha niho ari kubabwira ya nkuru.
And the answer to them was to spit in their face.
Ati nuko igisubizo cy'uwo mukecuru kiba kubacira mu maso, abacira mu maso.
That's what this old woman did.
Ati murumva ibyo nibyo uyu mukecuru yakoze. Urumva nyine ni nkaho agiye kubabwira ati ibaze ibi nibyo umukecuru yakoze. Ati mwibaze noneho ngewe ibyo nakora niba n'umukecuru yarakoze ibyo. Ariko mwibuke ko ikibazo cyacu ari yabimenye bite iby'uwo mukecuru. Bikaba rero hari abantu bazanye allegations zivuga ngo yabibwiwe n'abicanyi be, yari yohereje gufasha abandi bicanyi kwica abanyarwanda kugira ngo bibe kidobya bigire kidobya maze babone uko bifatira ubutegetsi. Ntago tuzibagirwa ko Kagame FPR bandikiye ONU mu kwa kane bayibwira ngo ntitabare, nutabara baramuhohotera. Ntabwo tuzibagirwa ko indege yaprovotse jenoside ari Kagamistan wayirashe, wayihanuye kandi abizi neza, ashaka ngo akoze kawo maze abone uko yifatira ubutegetsi aciye mu muvu w'amaraso. Urumva agakoresha story y'umuntu yagambaniye mu kwisobanura ku bye by'uyu munsi. Mwibaze iyo level y'ubushitani iri muri Uncle Kaga wa Kagamistan.
So you can imagine how much I'm going to spit in the face of anyone who tells me to choose between which death I should face.
Ngaho nimwibaze. Ngaho nimwibaze ngaho nimwibaze uko nzacira mu maso y'uzambwira ngo nimpitemo uko ngiye gupfa. Donc ni ukuvuga ngo Uncle Kaga wa Kagamistan yabimenye arimo arabyiyumvamo ko ibye byarangiye. Urumva se? Noneho rero muri uko kubimenya kwe ko ibye byarangiye, noneho rero arimo aravuga ati ati none se ahubwo nzapfa gute? Ubu noneho mbega kuri we bigeze kuri level yo kuvuga ngo guhitamo uko azapfa. Urumva se? Kuko yamaze kubimenya ko ngo agiye gupfa. Ubwe niwe ubyivugiye. Noneho ngo igisigaye kikaba ari ukumenya uko azapfa. Buriya rero izindi allegations ziri muri background ni uko ngo justement bamatse ibihugu bamupresentinze option, bagiye kumureba bati rero ibyawe byarangiye Uncle Kaga wa Kagamistan, ibyawe byarangiye. Rero baramubwira bati none se ntushobora kudemisiona. Mbega bamuha options. Mbega nyine nka kuriya nyine umukecuru niko muzehe wacu, urashaka kuva ute? Urashaka kwicwa gute? Urashaka kurangiza gute? Bamuhaye options my people. Noneho rero bamuhaye option kubera ko we yumva agomba gupfira ku butegetsi, ati afazari mbacire mu maso. Afazari mbacire mu maso rwose, intambara mudashaka noneho nyibashoreho maximum. Noneho nindangiza nkore no ku buryo mutakaza amarisha abantu, amarisha ari abanyarwanda, amarisha ari abakongomani, aho kugira ngo mpitemo exit n'imwe. Urumva se? Kagamistan bamuhaye option ati reka ati ahubwo ndabacira mu maso aho kugira ngo mitemo exit n'imwe. Ubwo urumva haba hari za option, ese uzajya mu buhungiro muri Katari, ese cyangwa se ahandi aho ariho hose deal ba negotiating, right? Ntabwo ari aho honyine. Cyangwa se uzajya muri retirement kuri Muhazi, cyangwa se uzajya mu rukiko bazakuzirika ujye mu rukiko woherezwe muri prison mageragere aho wohereje abandi hopefully nyine hameze neza warahateguye kuko umenyereye gufunga abandi yenda prison abantu yenda bafatwa neza muri prison ubwo uzafatwa nyine uko wafashe abandi muri prison cyangwa se bazamwohereza drone kuko hari n'abamubwiye ko bazamwohereza drone atinya drone byahatari evidama cyangwa se indege yawe bazayihanura bizagenda gute urareba ugasanga uzavaho gute uzarangiza gute noneho rero option zabo zose ati ati afazari mbacire mu maso afazari ahubwo nshora indi ntambara afazari mbiyahureho rero izi ntambara ako kaga wa Kagamistan ariho ni nk'intambara nyine zo kwiyahura ni nk'intambara zo abona ati byarangiye ni hahandi ahasigaye reka noneho ndwane mbatesha umutwe gusa mbega ni intambara zo gutesha abantu umutwe ntabwo ari intambara riri yibwira ati natsinda koko urumva se kuko Afurika yose yamuhagurukiye murabona kontina yose abantu bose kampanye ya diplomasi ya Congo yagenze neza kampanye ya activism hano hanze ndashimira abantu bose bari muri activism ureke bariya baguzwe murabibona ko harimo aba activist baguzwe mu kanya twari tumaze kuvuga mu gifaransa no mu cyongereza twavuze kuri uriya mu activist waguzwe reka mubereke muzajye kumwirebera kuko ibintu by'iki gihe ni ibindi sinzi niba mwaramubonye twari twaramusapotinze igihe yakoraga kampanye arimo arwanya sanctions za contre Zimbabwe ariko ubu ngubu byamaze kumenyekana birakekwa ko yaguzwe na Kagamistan iri muri deal na Zimbabwe irimo ikina double game kugeza naho niba yagiye i Rwanda niba ari muri Great Lakes ari ngo muri mission zo gukora reportage documentaire aho ijambo bariya abateroriste ba Kagamistan biyita M23 uyu rero akaba ari wa Muzimbabwe bita Rutendo Benson Matinyarari mwibuka ukuntu yakoze kampanye nziza yo gufreinga Zimbabwe yo gukuraho sanction ariko none ngo yaguzwe rero nibyo nyine nayo mvuga ni Kagamistan irabibona neza irabizi neza ko ibyayo byarangiye ariko ikavuga iti aho kugira ngo nshaka amahoro ahubwo ikongezamo umuriro ikavuga uti kama mbaya niyo Afurika yose yamenya niyo bose bavuga bati ça suffit kandi nk'uko mubibona my people kampanye irakomeje nubwo bwose hari abakagamizi n'abantu bo muri Kagamistan batangiye gucelebratinga bibwira ngo batsinze ngo bafashe turi kubona abanyarwanda mu mavideo barimo bishimira ngo bafashe ngo aha bakifirima bari mu myenda ya gisirikare barimo n'imbunda za fake barimo biyerekana ngo bafashe ube mubizi ko ayo mavideo n'ayo mafoto yose azagumaho muzamwarwa cyane kuko muzamera nk'ukuntu interahamwe zagaragaye zica abantu zimeze nabi nyine ziri muri movement terroriste yo guteroriza abantu none rero namwe rekagamize b'uyu munsi murimo murajya mu mavideo no ku mafoto mukishimira ko Kagamistan iri muri Congo kandi Kagamistan iri muri Congo ni abajenosideri bamaze abakongore birirwa bafata abagore ku ngufu bica abagore n'abana n'abasaza n'abakecuru n'abagabo hanyuma mwebwe abanyarwanda mukiyerekana ngo mwafashe ngo ibiki n'ibiki murimo muracelebratinga Kagamistan rero ejo bundi igihe nyine Kagamistan izaba yatsinzwe, hanyuma rero bikagaragara amafoto yanyu n'amavideo yanyu bakayacukumbura mu gihe mwari murimo musapotinga aba bateroriste, ntimuzavuge ngo ntago twari twababwiye. Rero nyine inkuru nyamukuru y'uwo mukecuru ngo nyine iyi nkuru Uncle Kaga yayimenye kubera ko nyine yayibwiwe n'abicanyi yari yohereje. Hano rero hari undi muntu mbona uri muri studio ushaka kuza muri studio, reka mubaze niba ashaka kuza muri studio mushyire kuri ecran hanyuma aze. Reka mbanze mubaze. Komera cyane, urashaka kujya kuri screen? Halo? Komera, urashaka kujya kuri screen? Cyangwa uri muri Okay, nta kibazo. Urashaka kugira ikibazo ubaza cyangwa? Hari ikibazo ufite cyo kubaza? Okay, ashobora kuba ari umuntu uri kwiyumvira gusa, ntago sinzi niba afite icyo kuvuga cyangwa icyo kubaza. Niba hari icyo ufite cyo kubaza umbwire hano ngushyire muri ntuza nguhe ijambo. Niba hari icyo ufite cyo kubaza umbwire nguhe ijambo, nyandikira umbwire nguhe ijambo, ndakubona muri studio. Nuko my people rero ni ibyo ngibyo ni gutyo byifashe. Mukomere cyane kandi murebe kure ntimufatanye n'abicanyi n'abagome n'abagambanyi bo muri Kagamistan barimo bamara abantu muri Congo, kubera ko barimo barakorera Sekibi, barimo barica abantu, barimo baramara abantu. Mubirinde, mubagendere kure, mubaboyikote. Twebwe gahunda yacu ni boycott Rwanda, boycott made in Rwanda, boycott Air Rwanda, boycott everything Kagamistan mu Rwanda, kubera ko barimo barica abantu, barimo baramara abantu muri Congo. Twebwe rero turimo turababoyikota. Amateka arimo aratureba, amateka azabamenya, azibuka abafatanyije n'umukrimineri, hanyuma ananibuke n'abamwamaganye. Mbaze uno mujene niba ashaka kugira icyo avuga. Niko, hari icyo ushaka kuvuga? Okay, ashobora kuba yibereye yirimo kumbwira. Hari icyo ushaka kuvuga ngo nguhe ijambo? Okay, ashobora kuba hari icyo ushaka kuvuga ngo nguhe ijambo? Okay, my people arimo arirebera. Nuko nibyo rero nababwiraga uyu munsi. Okay, no, arimo arirebera, umujene arimo arirebera. Karibu kabisa, abashaka kuza muri studio, nongere nshyiremo link niba hari umuntu ugihari ugishaka kuza muri studio ambwire, nongere nshyireho link. Dore ngiyo nayishyize muri ntuza ariko nshobora kuba ntayishyize ahariho. Oops, nyishyize ahatariho. Reka nyishyire muri chat kuri YouTube. Abashaka kuza karibu. Dore link yo kuza muri studio niyo ngiyo. Otherwise rero ndabona nta bantu bahari muri barimo bashaka kuza muri ntuza muri show. Ubwo naho ubutaha ndashimira abari bahari, aya nama hano ndabashimira cyane mwakoze kuza muri enregistrement ya live uyu munsi twari kuwa gatandatu ku itariki ya 15 z'ukwa kabiri ibihumbi 2025 ibihumbi 2025 nari nongeye kwibeshya kudoke mwiriwe basangira ngendo komera uwacu we mwakoze cyane hanyuma rero n'abaturanyi bo muri Congo bari bahari hanyuma kandi icyababaje abantu cyane ni iki kingiki cy'ukuntu uriya mugabo uba muri Canada turangirize kuri iyo nkuru y'uriya mugabo wabaga muri Canada ubundi twavuze ku ivanguramoko riba mu Rwanda ivanguramoko mu nzego zose aho hasigaye harabayeho apartheid aho abantu bibwira ko bazubaka ku bwoko bwabo hanyuma bakubaka igihugu ikaba rero ariyo mpamvu biri guhirima twari turi kuvuga rero n'uku kuntu aba bantu nyine bagendera ku moko gusa badatinya guhemukira abandi banyafurika ariko kandi bakaba bari complexe bakaba bari ready yo gukorana n'abampatse ibihugu bari na ready yo kubyarana n'abagore b'ahandi ariko ntago bibaderanja iyo abagore b'abanyafurika bicwa iyo abana b'abanyafurika bicwa uyu rero ni uyu mutipe wagiye ngo kuba ngo vice guverineri muri Congo kandi muri Canada yari asanzwe aba muri Canada ayo ngo ni amafoto allegedly ngo ni amafoto ye nyine n'abiwe kandi yari ari muri Canada nk'umunyarwanda yari ari muri Canada nk'umunyarwanda ariko ibaze ngo yahurudutse avuye muri Canada nk'umunyarwanda agiye ngo gutegeka muri za Congo rero uyu mujene ndamusuhuza ndamushimira Robert Patrick Fatiga Kwerere nawe yamukozeho poste avuga ukuntu uyu nguyu Manzi Ngarambe Wiri yashyizweho na Kagamistan yashyizweho na RDF akaba kandi ari n'umubyara wa Bosco Ntaganda alias Terminator Bosco Ntaganda wamaze kujyanwa muri ICC Bosco Ntaganda wajyanywe muri ICC hanyuma kandi igihe yari yarajyanywe muri ICC yagiyeyo avuga ngo we ni umunyarwanda mwibuke ko yabyivugiye ko we ari umunyarwanda rero mubyara we uyu Wiri wabaga muri Canada agahuruduka akava muri Canada akagenda akagiye ngo agiye gukorera criminal dictatorship ya Kagamistan Rwanda muri criminalite irimo muri Congo aho bajyanyeyo wa muco mubi wa Kagamistan wo guforsa abantu kujya muri mitingi zabo batajya muri mitingi zabo ngo bakabahohotera aho yarariyo kandi yarahurudutse muri Canada mu gihugu kigendera kuri demokarasi mu bintu bica mu matora aho abizi neza ko na province yabaga ngo za Gatineau Quebec Canada abizi neza ko kugira ngo ube guverineri ube donc premier ministre wa province ubwo guverineri twamugereranya n'aba vice guverineri n'aba premier ba province binaha buri province ifite uyikuriye arabizi neza ko batorwa muri Canada gutekereza ko umuntu ashobora guhuruduka akava tuvuge avuye ikantarange hehe mu Bushinwa akaza muri Canada aje kuba umutegetsi gusa ibyo bintu ntibishoboka ntibyakwemerwa ariko agatinyuka akajya kubikora muri Afurika byerekana ukuntu abanyafurika batanarespekta n'ibihugu byabo niyo waba ukunda igihugu cyawe kuki nk'ubu ngubu ababa muri Canada yarigize umuntu muzima akurikiza amategeko muri Canada, akanabyarira n'abantu b'inaha, hanyuma yarangiza agataha muri Afurika agiye kwica amategeko, agiye gukandagira ku bantu, agiye gukorera abantu bafata ku ngufu abagore b'Abanyafurika, bica abagore b'Abanyafurika, bica abana b'Abanyafurika. Ibi bintu murabibona neza ko ari bwa bucakara mu mutwe no mu butindi ku mutima, byadutse mu bantu, mu Banyarwanda, bamwe na bamwe, muri aba ngaba biyita ngo Abanyamurenge cyangwa se biyita ngo Abatutsi, ibishitani bakorera bene wabo b'Abanyafurika babica babamara, ariko kandi bakaba bafite iyo complexe, bari ready yo gupakitiza n'abampatsi ibihugu mu kurimbura abandi Banyafurika. Kandi ni hahandi mu gihe bazaba barafashije bampatsi ibihugu, barakoze izo pacte zo kurimbura abandi Banyafurika, ni hahandi igihe cyabo kizagera nk'uko igihe cya Kagamistan ubu noneho cyageze, ni hahandi nabo babahitishemo bati urashaka gupfa gute, nk'uko Kagamistan yabibwiriye ko bamuhitishijemo, hanyuma nibamuhitishamo atangira avuge ati baranyanga, baratwanga, ye baba data we, bigenze gute, batangire ngo tuzabacira mu maso. My people, bigire victim ari bo. Dore rero igitabo mpise ngwaho hano, umujene witwa Dieudonné Ngoga yapostinze, ndamushimiye cyane ko yapostinze, n'uyu mujene Eliane Nyiraneza nawe wari wagipostinze. Abaziranye n'uyu mujene muzamunsabire, wazaje koko muri interview kuri UNI talk show ukababwira iby'ibi bya la guerre mondiale africaine. Iki ni cyo gihe cyo kuza kubivuga. Rero sinzi impamvu atakora interviews, sinzi impamvu n'igitabo cye kitakigaragara, sinzi niba ari sabote cyangwa se niba ari we wabyishakiye. Ubwo abamuzi mwamutubwirira, nuko nguko, my people. Rero mukomere cyane, niba hari abafite ibibazo mutubwire. Ndi kubona hari umuntu wagerageje kuza muri studio ariko ntago ashaka kuvuga, nta kintu ashaka kuvuga, wasanga ari nk'umujene uri gutestinga iyo link gusa kugira ngo arebe niba ikora. Rero link irakora kandi show ni open mic, munatestinge izo QR code nashyize ku ruhande, mumbwire niba nazo zikora. Nuko mukomere cyane. Hanyuma rero nakagaruka, turi kumwe, abaturanyi bo muri Congo, Parunzoro Katari yaje kutubwira ati ni umuvumo Kagamistan, ni umuvumo kuri Afurika. Aho rero niho nari namubwiye ni Afurika ntishobora kuvumwa, ahubwo Kagamistan ni ikigeragezo gikomeye cyane ku Rwanda, kuri Congo, ku Banyafurika. Uko tuzabyitwaramo muri iki kigeragezo nibyo bizakonfirima niba turi abana b'Imana cyangwa se niba natwe turi abakozi ba shitani, nk'uko Kagamistan yigize umukozi wa shitani. Rero my people, igihe kirageze cyo gukonfirima niba turi abana b'Imana cyangwa se niba turi abakozi ba shitani. Ikindi twavuze n'uriya mutipe wo muri Zimbabwe wihaye kwigira prostitution intellectuelle, uburaya intellectuelle. Ibyo ngibyo ni abantu bafite ubwenge, bafite mu mutwe hazima, bashobora no kuba barize. Urumva se nkaba twebwe hano n'uwo mutipe w'umuzimbabwe n'aba ba activist bose bari hanze aha ngaha, ariko agatinyuka agaciruza ubwenge bwe, hanyuma rero agakorera Kagamistan, kubera ko mwamubonye ko ari muri gahunda noneho zo kujya gushaka kubakorera media campaign yo gushaka kuberekana nk'aho ari abantu bazima kandi ari aba teroriste, ari abaterorizateur muri Congo. Ibyo rero nibyo bita uburaya bw'aba intellectuel, uburaya intellectuel. Rero bariya bantu bigize bagiye mu buraya intellectuel ni uko birinda no kubigendera kure no kubagendera kure. Rero my people murakoze cyane, mwakoze cyane kuba muhari. Nabera uyu munsi ndabona show igiye iraba ari short kabisa. Tumenyereye gukora show y'amasaha menshi ariko uyu munsi nta bantu benshi bahari muri live kubera ko nyine hashize iminsi nyine twikorera live igihe twishakiye. Wahasanga SAMEDI DETENTE hari abatamenye ko iri bube we ntawasi ubwo ubutaha muzabimenya. Rero bazambwira niba izi QR code zirimo zikora iri hejuru n'iy'igitabo. Ndimo nditoza kujya mbwira abantu ko mfite igitabo, ubundi sinajyaga na-advertising ibitabo byanjye ariko kubera ko igitabo gishyashya kizasohoka kizaba ari hatari ari danje, ngomba kuzajya nya-advertisinga buri gihe. Niyo mpamvu natangiye kwitoza gushyiraho QR code irimo icyo igitabo muzakunda kubera ko kizabafasha kuzamuka kuva mu bucakara, kuzamuka kuva mu gutinya, kuzamuka nyine kuzamuka nyine mukagera byibuze no mu bumuntu no mu bumana. Nuko rero umujene wari washatse kuza hano arimo arambwira nyine ko atari bubashe kuvuga, nuko ati iyi ntuza ibi ngibi byo kubaza abantu niba bafite icyo vuga bati n'ejo uzabigarure. Ndakubona kabisa, wakoze cyane. Komera ku kazi, komera cyane. Imana ijya ihora igufasha nyine, uhora ufite akazi, uhora ufite ibikarito uterura kabisa, witunze umeze neza, udakeneye kujya gukorana n'aba bantuza nyine, n'aba bantu bo muri Kagamistan nyine, nk'uko uriya mutipe wo muri Zimbabwe yatangiye gufobagana no kujya gukorana n'abantu bo muri Kagamistan. Urumva se? Rero komera cyane. Kandi ibi ngibi byo gusaba nyine ngo abantu bashaka kuza kuri uwashaka kuza nyine kuri show nyine studio nshyashya. Rero sinzi uko muri kuyibona ariko kabisa iri kunyuzura, ariko nta wasi, ariko byibuze ndi kuyiga ndi off camera, byibuze by the time nzagaruka kuri kamera nzaba ndi kuyimasteringa bya hatari. Rero kubera ko natangiye kwiga ibi ngibi bya media, nkorera muri TV studio, batwigisha nyine ukuntu umuntu akoresha professional studio. Bana buri gihe kabisa iyo nkoze show ntayikoreye muri professional studio mba numva hari ikintu kitagenda. Rero kabisa biranshimishije ko twimukiye muri studio nshyashya, ariko nyine kubera ko ari nshyashya nyine ndakigaho ibintu byose biri, ariko ndabona kame uyu munsi byagenze neza. Ubwo ikizakurikiraho ubutaha ikibuze gusa nyine ni kamera. Antuka my people, rero murakoze. Uwiteka Imana akomeze, Imana ikomeze ibamenye muri byose my people. Turi kumwe. Weekend nziza my people. Mahoro nyoni nyinshi se kwaje tuvuga ngo weekend nziza ngo birarangiye. Nkoranye ni nyinshi nari ngiye gukupa neza show mbona comment yawe ndavuga ngo reka ngusuhuze ati Madame Louise Salama numvise bivugwa ko umwicanyi Nyamwaso yari atangiye kwiyerekana ku maradiyo mpuzamahanga abandi bakavuga ko yaba yaracengeye kwa perezida wa South Africa na Tshisekedi na Neva kuko nyine nawe ari mu bashaka kugaruka ku butegetsi nyine nk'uko na Kabila urabona na Kabila wo muri Congo nawe ashaka kugaruka ku butegetsi ibi si byo twavuga tuti mugomba gucunga opposition nk'uko mucunga abari ku butegetsi kuko ibaze abanyarwanda baramutse bongeye bagasondekwa kuva muri dictature bajya mu yindi dictature hanyuma bava no muri Kagamistan w'umwicanyi bagasubirana none kuri uyu nguyu Nyamwasa nanone nawe w'umwicanyi abanyarwanda niyo mpamvu bagomba guhaguruka bakamwamagana nawe mu bishoboka byose kandi bakavuga ko niyo mpamvu maze igihe muri kampanye mvuga nti tumerita imfura n'inyangamugayo aba bantu b'abicanyi batuvire muri politike ntihagire ushaka kwivanga muri politike yacu ngo bongere badusondeke abicanyi batubwira ngo ni abasaviors mahoro nyoni nyinshi kabisa ati ngo biravugwa ko yaba yikundisha kuri ba perezida ngo bazamuterekeho ntiwumva se mahoro nyoni nyinshi urakoze cyane ati mba muri rwinshi niyo mpamvu nkererwa kuza mu kiganiro urakoze cyane igikuru ni uko iyo wahageze uvuga ibintu bizima gusa rero kubera izo mpamvu urababariwe ubuziraherezo thank you so much show yari irangiye nuko gusa ari mahoro plusieurs wazo mbonye nkavuga ni ngomba kumusuhuza kuko uko aje muri show atuzanira ibintu by'abahanga n'abantu bazima gusa rero ndagushimiye ariko kabisa bizu nyine show yari irangiye rero bizu kabisa murakoze cyane ubu kabisa naho ubutaha nakagaruka ati Madame Louise niba tudatangiriye hakiri kare zizatwinjirana indi myaka 30 nugukanura cyane turangiriza aho ngaho exactement iyo niyo kampanye mazemo igihe mbwira abantu ni mumenyere no gukweshoninga n'abantu bo muri opposition bose kuko se abari muri opposition ni danje kuko abari muri opposition ni abashaka kujya ku butegetsi ibaze noneho ku butegetsi hagiyeho undi mu criminel ubu se abanyarwanda u Rwanda ntago rwazabaho rero kabisa nk'uko mahoro nyoni nyinshi abivuze tugomba gucunga tugakweshoninga abari ku butegetsi n'abari muri opposition hanyuma kandi muri opposition haba harimo abantu babicanyi nk'abanyamaso tukabamagana n'igihe yasohotse ngiye nakoze kuri post ari kuri Twitter ari kuri Facebook ndavuga ni uyu nguyu ari mu bibazo bya Congo ari mu bishe mu bamaze abantu muri Congo rero ntaze muri politike yigira ngo nawe ngo ari contre Kagamistan kandi ari mu bicanyi ba Congo nawe agomba gukorerwa kampanye murakoze my people witeka Imana ikunda u Rwanda ntihumbya natwe ntidumbye kugira ngo tutazongera gusondekwa abicanyi murakoze bizu bizu reka turangirize kuri iyi ntuza